Okay, so got an opportunity to finally check out Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Now, this one, it is directed by Steven Caple Jr. and it is written by Joby Harold, Darnell Metayer, Josh Peters, Erich Hoeber, and Jon Hoeber. From a story by Howard, right? It is produced by Lorenzo di Bonaventura, Tom DeSanto, Michael Bay, Duncan Henderson, Don Murphy, and Mark Ferrandian. It's executive produced by Steven Spielberg, Brian Oliver, Don Granger, Brian Goldner, Dana Goldberg, Bradley J. Fleischer, David Ellison, and Valerie Ann. It is co-produced by Bernardo Duran Jr., Petra Holthoff Stratton, Cliff Lanning, and R.J. Minnow. It is line produced by Carl Sigurdsson and Bruno Canal. Okay. So, Jonanik Bontemps is on music. Enrique Chediak, cinematography. While Joel Negron and William Goldenberg edit the piece. Right? Whitney Horton, Ruth Lambert, and Robert McGee handle casting. Sean Hayworth, production design. Art decoration, we've got Vincent Arid, Frederic Bertholomew Gabino, Eve Boulogne, Caroline Davigon, Marie Soli Demu, Matteo Chiguer, Arthur John Ward, Leandre Lagrange, Michel Lebeut, Félix Lavier Charon, Philippe Lord, Sabi Mihala, Julien Pugnia, and Bianca Skirtu. With set decoration from Louise Dandonu, Brent David Manon, Michael Nalion, and Anne Smart, and Sierra Worley handles costume design. So our cast, we have got Anthony Ramos as Noah Diaz, right? His little brother Chris is played by Dean Scott Vasquez. His mum Brianna is played by Luna Lauren Velez. Then there's Elaine Wallace, played by Dominique Fishback, right? Noah's friend Reek is played by Tobe Nugui. We've got Elaine's boss, Gillian, played by Sarah Stills. There's Mrs. Green, played by Lenny Parker. We got Bishop, played by Aidan Devine. Museum Guard, played by Jay Farrer. Amru, played by Lucas Horanakara. And his son is played by Amil Keyo. His wife is played by Santuza Kupita. Right? Agent Burke, Michael Kelly. Okay, so now the Transformers. Optimus Prime is voiced by Peter Cullen. Optimus Primal is voiced by Ron Perlman. Scourge is voiced by Peter Dinklage. Air Razor, Michelle Yeoh. Mirage, Pete Davidson. RC is Liza Koshy. Transit and Stratosphere is voiced by John DiMaggio. Ryan X, Battle Trap, and Ape Links is voiced by David Sobolov. Nightbird is voiced by Michaela J. Rodriguez. Unicorn is voiced by Coleman Domingo. Wheeljack is voiced by Cristo Fernández. Cheetor is voiced by Tongayi Chirisa. Yeah, that's the main voices, really, people. Now, the gist of the story. Returning to the action and spectacle that have captured moviegoers around the world, Transformers Rise of the Beasts will take audiences on a 90s globe-trotting adventure with the Autobots and introducing a whole new faction of Transformers, the Maximals, to join them as allies in the exciting battle for Earth. So yeah, that is what this is. Yeah, you know, it's, I think, right, the fans of Transformers will most likely dig this, you know, most likely dig this, because it's supposedly a sequel to Bumblebee, right, but a prequel to the original Transformers film from, oh, when was that? 2007? You know what I mean? Which is like, okay. And Bumblebee was in 2018, which, man, it's a long ass time. Which, yeah, it's funny because it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was. So you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, so how's that gonna work, right? How are they gonna, gel that sheet together? Now, I remember the Beast Wars, right? Because when that cartoon dropped, it wasn't in the style of the original Transformers cartoon. It was this weird computer animated thing, and it was kind of shit, right? I did not like Beast Wars. It was odd, right? Because it just seemed you had basically all the Transformers, but now they're animals, right? They were cars, now they're animals, right? So that just seemed to be the gist of it all. So it all seemed a little bit hokey, but it always seemed that there was some sort of promise. You know what I mean? There was something that could be good. So you're just thinking, all right, this could be something, man. Now it's in the film world, right? So we're watching this, and there's fights, there's explosions, there's all of that kind of jinx, right? We start off and we're introduced to our human characters, which I always hate. I always hate that component of these films because it never makes sense. In the cartoon, I hated the humans, right? Because it's just like you've got these big, powerful robots and they're listening to these humans. Right? The humans say, don't do that. You're like, you're right, little guy. You just like, shut up. He'd stomp you. He'd stomp you, right? But at the start of this, it does feel like the human characters are finally real, right? They're being portrayed in a better light. So I'm like, okay, we can we could rock with this. So, we're meeting both. One works in a museum, right? Elena and Noah. He's left the army and he's trying to find work, supporting his family, his mum, and his little brother, right? So that's what we are told. I mean, it's some played out themes, like guy can't get a job, so resorts to crime. You know what I mean? Just that kind of thing. But yeah, now we stumble upon our Transformers. Now, there are some weird things, like, because if Mirage doesn't want to be stolen, he's not getting stolen. So you just think, why would he let himself get stolen? You know what I mean? So there's things like that you scratch your head and be like, yeah, what, like why? Why even are we at this point? You know what I mean? Then now, I'm not an archaeologist, right? Or a historian, but I do know from listening to many conversations, watching many documentaries, reading books, and all of that jazz, that it can take a long ass time to find information, right? To track certain things down, right? They'll find things in one country and it's ages before they realize there's similar things in another country. Now, Elena works so much out in less than a day, in a few hours. In a few hours, she's just Googling and just discovers all this stuff. And you're just like, okay. Right? So this is the thing. You can't, there's no logic with this film. You know what I mean? You can't watch it and expect it to follow just some simple rules, because you'll be pulling your hair out. I had hair before I watched this film. It's all gone. It's all, I was like, ah. So that's that, right? The whole Transformers thing. Now, you have got Optimus Prime, Optimus Primal. It is a bit insane, the names, right? Now, there's this big confrontation between the Transformers and the Maximals. But then it's just like, yes, I know who you are. And you're just like, if you know who each other are, why the confrontation? Like, it was just weird, right? There's so many weird things that are going, because there wouldn't be a confrontation. It would just be straight away and be like, Optimus Primal, I didn't know you were here. Prime, I didn't know you were. It wouldn't be like gun in your face kind of thing. It'd be, look, we know each other. We know we're on the same side. Yo, let's just have a conversation. You know what I mean? So it's things like that, right? It's this whole exosuit thing, which now maybe some of this is in the cartoons and the books and the comics and all of that. I don't know. I ain't gone that. You know what I mean? I was down as a little kid with the original Transformers. I tried the Transformers comics back in the day with Simon Furman writing them. I just didn't. They were just irritating. So I don't know if a lot of this stuff, if exosuits can really be made, and just, you know what I mean, just all of this stuff, right? The whole gender of Transformers, it's weird. You kind of feel Transformers would be just unisex, essentially, right? There's just some things that you're just like, huh? Now, one thing that was weird, they're on the planet, right? This whole planet they're fighting on, because we've seen Cybertron is all electronics and stuff, and that makes sense, right? But this other planet, there's all wildlife and shit. And you're just like, why? Why would the Maximals' home planet have greenery and shit when they're robots? sense. Then they don't eat it, or but you know what I mean? Like there's some odd things like that that don't really make any sense. The excuse for the Maximals staying on Earth doesn't make any sense. So if you're watching it, as I said, and really just trying to work it all out, it's not gonna, right? The fact that the humans are like, we'll come with you, we'll do, just dumb, right? The fact that you've got Scourge and his people, they're meant to be like unbeatable. But then obviously you know what will happen in the end, right? I mean, it's obvious, right? There's just all of that. So if you love the Transformers films, you'll probably enjoy this. If you don't, you won't enjoy this. Like, I think I preferred Bumblebee to this one, right? And I'd say Bumblebee wasn't too bad. Like, for me, it's probably the first Transformers film, then Bumblebee, right? The rest are just so bad, so bad, so bad. Right, I think when it's a more pared down story, it probably works better. There's too much action, too many things. Does the CGI really just stands out so glaringly, like hanging above volcano, you're just like, it's not really there. Like, we can see it's not there. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? So there's all of that going down. But look, I think kids will enjoy it. You know, the music, the action, all of that jazz, right? And yeah, it's not changing the world, you know? It's not changing the world, but you might find it to be fun. Now, there are 2 end of credit sequences, right? One is a clear tie-in to another Hasbro license, it would seem. The other one, just even more pointless. Even more pointless, right? The first one, you can be like, okay, they're trying to set up this other team. All right, whatever. But it still makes no sense because they're revealing all these secrets to someone that hasn't even agreed to work with them. And you're just like, you're not giving up. You know what I mean? It's just like, once someone's agreed, then you tell them this shit. You're not just telling them just randomly so then they can go run their guns to other people, right? So it's just like, what the fuck is this? But you'd be like, all right, they're setting something up. Fine, whatever. The second one was just straight nonsense. Straight nonsense. It's just like, we're meant to be secret, but we're just letting everyone know. You know what I mean? But yeah, so you know, there's 2 end of credit sequences, but Transformers Rise of the Beast is out on all the VODs. I watched it on Now TV. So if you're inclined, right, if you like Transformers, you'll dig it. If you don't, I don't think you will, right? It's not one of those, oh, okay. Oh, this has changed my thoughts. No, it's not one of those. But if you're deep in the lore, you love the shit, yeah, it's all you, baby. It's all you. Transformers Rise of the Beasts.